posible que me engañes más. No implores más, no me busques más. Escucha este consejo, no vuelvas a engañar en el mundo jamás. Ay, ay, como ayer, como ayer, como ayer, como ayer. Dicen que muere de espanto como ayer, aquel que visiones ve como ayer. Pero dicen que muere de espanto como ayer, aquel que visiones ve como ayer. Yo he visto la muerte en Sanco como ayer. No sé si me moriré como ayer. Mi madre me dijo un día como ayer, Tito, ¿por qué tú no cantas? Como ayer. Mi madrecita me dijo un día como ayer, Tito, ¿por qué tú no cantas? Como ayer. Si yo te di la garganta como ayer, de acero y mampostería como ayer. Vaya Irene, sabrosón con ese tren. El tercero sinfónico. Como ayer, como ayer, como ayer, como ayer.
Well, good morning if it's morning, good evening if it's evening, and good night if it's night. And a big hearty salam alaikum to each and every one of you that's listening to us live, or those who will be listening in archives. Well, today we got two little topics I want to talk about before we get the show rolling. I often wonder, why is it that people want to put elaborate things on for their ancestors? Not just, sometimes you want to, you came into a little bit of money and you decided to put something nice up there, but just the simple fact of always trying to indulge, or always, putting the best of the best out there for them, or spending an elaborate amount of money on your ancestors. I often think that you're doing your ancestors a disservice by doing this. Why do I think that? Because we all know that they as ancestors and we as humans go through ups and downs. And just like children, when you accustom them to nothing but the best, they expect nothing but the best, just like a spoiled child. Spoiled children do not understand the need for the act of having necessities. We all know that none of us were born with silver spoons in our mouths. Most of your ancestors were probably not either. But I see the ongoing thing where I see people, well, my ancestors don't get nothing but the best. Nothing but the best for my ancestors. Nothing but the best for my ancestors. Nothing but the best plates. Nothing but the best this. Nothing but the best that. And that is a disservice to your ancestors. A very big disservice to your ancestors. You should put little offerings to your ancestors. You should put humble things to your ancestors. Because the day that you don't have it, guess what? They're going to expect those big, luxurious things. Yes, I'm not telling you that once in a while you can't splurge on them. But it doesn't have to be in every day, all day, one time after another, one time after another. I'm going to tell you this story right quick about my godmother, Changoldina. She explained to me many years ago that there was a time that she went to a spiritual gathering. And in the spiritual gathering, the ancestors were saying, hey, man, you haven't left us anything in quite a while. You know, why haven't you? She says, well, right now I can't. I just don't have the money. I don't have anything to be able to give you. Mind you, this was in the 50s, and the economics weren't that good, and the revolution that just went through Cuba. So she has a revelation that night while she's sleeping. And during that revelation, Spirit tells her, you don't have to always come out your pocket for us. A simple glass of water will do. So the next day, as she's walking by this flower shop, and the flower shop was filled with flowers, but she couldn't buy any, whispered an egoon in her ear, I like these flowers. Why don't you dedicate these flowers to me? So she sat there and she closed her eyes while standing in front of the flower shop and dedicated those to her ancestors. See, the smallest little gestures or prayers can move mountains. So, today I remind you not to overindulge, not to overgive all the time, because they get used to that stuff. Well, guys, today I, of course, uploaded some new music. I'm hoping that you guys do enjoy it. You are listening to, actually, it's 12 o'clock somewhere with Candelo Kimbisa. Now I have you a little earful of The Glow of Love from a group called Change.
It's a pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true and gay. Easy living and we're giving what we know we're dreaming of. We are one having fun walking in the glow of love. Faces going places, it's a wonder, it's so clear. By a fountain, climbing mountains as we hold each other near. Sipping wine, we try to find that special magic from above as we share our affair, talking in the glow of love. splendor of it all. We're surrounded and abounded, summer, spring, winter, and fall. All the people meeting people, laughing, dancing till the dawn. And we'll always be like this, flowing in the glow of love. Time will always be our friend, reaching far to find a star. Our destiny is heaven sent, making known this loving tone will never part the two of us. We will always reminisce, kissing in the glow of love. In the glow of love. Pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true and gay. Easy living when we're given what we know we're dreaming of. We are one having fun walking in the glow of love. Yeah.
All right, guys, that was The Glow of Love from a group called Change. If you notice the voice was of that of Luther Vandross before he actually went on his solo career. I hope you guys are enjoying your day with me because I am definitely enjoying mine with yours. Man, I gotta tell you, things have been so busy in and around the house that there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm really, really enjoying and trying to get things back rolling towards the new year. I will ask you all to please take care of all your altars, man. Give them a nice wipe down, clean them down, change the sheets or the table mantles, move them around, give them fresh water, do everything you got to do to bring in this year nice and fresh. If you really want to bring it in nice and fresh, yeah, you start it with yourself, you start it with your house, with your altars, and with all those things. Let's bring prosperity in. Let's make things good. For those of you who have lost loved ones in this year, I ask you please to keep them in your memories, but do not let them hinder your spiritual process. I know it's hard, and I know that losing someone is very hard for us. But we as people that believe in the ATRs and believe in the DTRs always have had the thought of notion that this is not the end of life. Life is a cycle. Everything that we taste, drink, smell, even touch has a beginning and end. But you know what else has a beginning and an end? Death. We know as ATR and DTR practitioners that our ancestors are always there. They're just in transition. Look for them in signs, in smells and touches and remembrances. You're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with Candelo Kimbisa.
In a world like today, it's a rare occasion to be able to see young mothers like the ones that were around when I grew up. But they live on in memory to quite a few of us. And this song is dedicated to those who cherish that memory. Early one Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school, filled with the Lord of glory. We learned the holy story. She'll always have her dreams, despite the things this troubled world can bring. Oh, say, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Place no one above you, sweet Sadie. Well, living in the past. Sometimes it seems so funny, no money will turn your life around. Sweeter than cotton candy, stronger than Papa's old brandy. Always that needed smile. Once in a while, she would break down and cry. Sometimes she'd be so happy, being with us and Daddy, standing the worst of times, breaking the binds with just a simple song. Oh, Sadie Mae, don't you know, still loving us all in your special way. Well, there's no one above you, sweet Sadie, living in the past. Oh, she's never sinning. In love, she's always winning. Yeah. My. I love you, girl. I just can't forget how you gave me love. Oh, Lord. If there's a heaven up above, I know she's teaching angels how to love. It's a mean world without you. Or sometime.
Place no one above you, sweet
Sadie. Lord, although my mama's no longer here, her memory still lingers near. Just let me run, let me go.
You know
I don't just
sweet.
why you wanna make me feel so down. Well, this feeling won't let me be. I'm gonna keep on moving. I'm gonna try to keep grooving.
That was the Spinners with Sadie. Today's Tough Shit Tarot of the Day says, calm the fuck down. Despite your best efforts to pretend otherwise, your emotions are bubbling to the surface and you are begging to be heard. If you can identify the emotions and express them in a healthy way, you must just make it out of the situation alive. Try seeing a therapist, writing or meditating. Be careful not to burn any bridges by inappropriately taking your feelings out on loved ones at this time. Well, today's spiritual short story comes from spiritualshortstories.com. It's called A Bag Full of Hurts. There was a sweet, wonderful filled little girl who once was hurt over and over so badly that she entered the adult life, assuming that she was so bad that others just couldn't be nice to her. What she didn't know until much later was that God had given her an extra dose of curiosity. This curiosity kept her going, seeking answers. She sought many wise people to help her understand why she was so bad that her mother hurt her. Why was she so unable to be better so that men wouldn't hurt her? She was on a journey, she thought, that was to help her be better. But she dragged a big sack with her. Everywhere she went, inside the sack was all the hurts that she had experienced. Because she was so eager to please those who offered her their wisdom, she willfully agreed with what she had said about forgiveness and compassion towards those who had caused her hurt. But she clung tightly to that sack of hurts. But over time, she started losing her grip on that sack, her curiosity prompting her to explore. What if just one of them to go? What if I looked at men as victims too? What if I looked at my mother instead of a villain? After years of dragging that sack around boldly, showing it to all she met, as if there were proof that she was a good person, she decided to open it and just see what happened. When she looked inside, it was filled with little bits of paper. At one time, there were words on them, detailing hurts. But the time had faded into words, and all that was left was some scattered and torn scraps and useless paper. She had been struggling carrying this bag that held nothing but an image of something that once was. It was a little girl that had become almost an old woman. She saw the obscurity of lugging that bag around. It made her laugh. She started laughing, and the laughter led into a dance, and then she felt free. She was able to see her mother as a young woman with long, beautiful hair. Her mother was a woman. Her mother who loved a child. She was sad when the little girl felt unloved. By letting go of the sack of papers and having compassion for those who hurt her, the little girl was able to become a woman. The woman looked in the mirror and said, I am smart, I am interesting, I am kind, I am talented. But the most importantly, she was able to say, I am lovable. Although it took many years, she finally was open to bringing love and respect into her life and people she surrounded herself with. She finally saw a sweet, wonder-filled little girl she had always been. At a very strange age, Zora discovered that creativity could help through different circumstances. She has continued to discover throughout her life. Now she shares a love for creativity and fun to help others describe and discover and fulfill their dreams. This comes through a website called Creative Clown. Again, the story is from Zora. And of course, it comes from spiritualshortstories.com. Please do check them out. I absolutely love this website. So since I see that some of my other people have came in, I hope you listened to the beginning of the show. I think it was a wowzer. But of course, let me play something that you guys haven't heard in a long time. And let's do it like this. That was LTD featuring Jeffrey Osborne, Every Time I Turn Around. Today's reading from The Adventures of High John the Conqueror by Stephen Sandfield. The Christmas Turkey. It was a custom of Old Master and his family to have a turkey dinner every Christmas, and it was John's responsibility to get the turkey and get it ready for Christmas. Thinking he might have some fun at John's expense, Master called him to the big house just before the holiday. "John," he said, "you know, tomorrow is Christmas." "Yes, I know," responded John. "And you know," Master continued, "to take care of the turkey. You take care of the turkey every year." "Yes, Master, I know that too." "Well, John, I've decided this year whatever you do to that turkey, we're going to do it to you." John went back to his cabin in worried mind. He knew he had a serious problem. He had cut off the turkey's head, then Master would cut off his head. If he shot the turkey, he himself would be shot. And if he plucked off his feathers, Master would probably skin him alive. John spent most of the night tossing and turning, trying to find a way to save himself. Just before the sun rose on Christmas morning, he got a splendid idea. When John appeared at the big house, Old Master and his entire family were waiting for him in the veranda. They were all looking forward to making a fool out of him. But when he showed up and he wasn't carrying a dead and plucked bird, this Tom Turkey was alive. And well, he was gobbling for the whole world to hear. And John was leading it along with a red string. "Merry Christmas to you, Master," John said. "Merry Christmas to you, John. Remember now, whatever you do to that turkey, we're going to do to you," laughed Master. And everyone laughed with him. "Yes, Master," John said. Just as he didn't have a care in the world, John led the big bird right up to the edge of the veranda, then stepped behind it, dropped to his knees, lifted the tail feathers, and kissed it right in the butt. No one said a word, but High John stood up, turned his back on Old Master and his family, lifted his own cottontails and said, "Now take your time, folks, take your time, because I got all day." In other words, he was telling Master to kiss his ass. You're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with Candelo Kimbisa. I'll be right back.
To prove that you can do it
And of course, that was Shalimar with The Second Time Around. Boy, does that bring back memories. Today's stolen quote of the day comes from Patience Smith. It says, if you're blocked, it doesn't mean that I'm petty, childish, or you won. It means I prioritize peace. I draw the conclusion that your presence is toxic to my environment. So I no longer permit your access into my space. I don't want to see your name, hear your voice, read your words. I don't care what you're doing. It is time for us to grow up and take away all the negativity from our lives, whether it be toxic people, whether it be toxic vices and habits. You should no longer be thrilled with these things. If you do not have a support system around you that really supports and uplifts you, it shouldn't be around you. If every time you think about going into a business venture, you have naysayers saying, don't do it, it won't work, it can't be done. Every time that you decide to put on your favorite color, someone says, that color just does not look right on you. Or maybe that's not your spiritual path. It's time to do you. I hope you do, because I'm damn sure going to do mine. You're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with Candelo Kimbisa. Now have a listen to this. Bringing it back old school for all the old heads. Remember to tell your friends about it. It's 12 o'clock somewhere, baby.
cutie pie. You're the girl who makes me feel so good. Nothing but a cutie pie makes me feel so good. Cutie pie. You're the girl who makes me feel good. Cutie pie. You're the girl who makes me feel so good.
That was One Way with Cutie Pie. Guys, remember that the Conjure Gala and we are coming to a town near you soon. Well, I, Candelo Kimbisa, will be in Atlanta, Georgia on the third week of January. And also we'll be visiting again in February. So you want to see me in Atlanta, Georgia for a reading, a consultation, or just a plain old meetup. Come check me out in Atlanta. I'll be at Wicked Mojo, and I'll be visiting a couple of other places there also. Our good friend, of course my dogs want to start barking now, my good friend Ifeanyi Bayo is visiting. Our good friend Ifeanyi Bayo will be visiting the Conjure Shop in beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, in June, we'll be in Salem, Massachusetts. We'll be bringing our whole Conjure Gala over there. So do come check us out. Check out the dates. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our whole Conjure caravan is on the move. If you want to sponsor us in any one of these places, or maybe take us to your town, go ahead and hit me up at candelokimbisa@gmail.com. You can always follow me on It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Go ahead and check us out. Guys, I gotta tell you, it's been a pleasure. And as always, may all the egoons and shadows that accompany you have all the necessary light. From where I, Candelo Kimbisa, sit, that's it. Salam alaikum, everyone. Another grown folks tune for you grown folks.
I just can't love
12 O'Clock Somewhere was brought to you by kimbisa.org. The Mile High Conja Gala, Love Supplied to Botanica, and Oh So Divine.